Hey guys, welcome back to the Money Cipher channel. In today's episode, we are going to talk about the fastest way for teenagers to become millionaires 2022. Even if you have all these goals and objectives as a child, you don't hurry to fulfill them since you are still a child and must first mature. You'll need to finish high school, then go to college, and get your degree before you can even contemplate pursuing these options. In contrast, other youngsters took a different route and launched their own businesses while still in high school. Have a look at Nick Dilucio as an example of somebody's Nick Dilucio. The multi-million dollar threshold was reached while he was only 16 years old, and he is now an adult. Sumly was Nick's first genuinely successful software, which he designed when he was only a kid. When the software was first ready for release in March of 2014, it went by the name Trimit. Using an algorithm to compress content like emails and blog posts into summaries of 1,500 or 140 characters was a basic concept behind it. With over 100,000 downloads, the app was given a spotlight on the App Store. Business tycoon Li Kangxing saw potential in Trimit and invested $400,000 in the company founded by 16-year-old Dialozio. Dialozio reworked the design after receiving some input. In December 2011, the app was rebranded to Sumly. When the first version of Sumly was released, more than 200,000 people had downloaded it and were using it to read news, stories on their cell phones. An expert in natural language processing was among the people he brought on board to help him with the app's development. Dialogio acquired 1 million US dollars in additional venture capital from the celebrities in 2012, thanks to business sponsorship. In March 2013, Dialogio sold Sumly to Yahoo for almost $30 million and joined Yahoo as a product manager before he was 18 years old. Number 2. Bubble Ball app creator Robert Ney. Second on this list is Robert Ney, a billionaire who acquired his fortune in a similar fashion. He began working on Bubble Ball, a basic physics puzzle game, while he was only a teenager. With 156 levels, the puzzles range from easy to quite difficult. Robert, then 14 years old, launched the game in December of 2010 after it was finished. Because it was a basic game and Robert wasn't an expert, expectations were low. Even yet, some of the finest ideas are born this way. The game exceeded expectations in its first 2 weeks, generating 2 million downloads from the App Store alone, which is incredible. The app swiftly surpassed 16 million downloads and at one time overtook Angry Birds as the most popular free game in the Apple App Store's list of free games. Number 3. Shawn Belkin. Everyone else has been outdone by the third person on our list. It took him longer to get going since he began later. When BizChair.com went live, I was 14. To begin an internet company at this moment was not a good idea. Since the dot-com bubble burst in 2001, hundreds of enterprises have gone out of business. In spite of this, Shawn felt convinced that this plan would succeed. When it all came down to it, he had absolutely nothing to lose except the $500,000. When he was barely 14 years old, his stepfather decided to invest in his firm, and even if it failed badly, he would at least acquire the experience of losing $500,000. But it wasn't like that at all. A little firm that began in a teenager's bedroom quickly grew into a multi-million dollar enterprise, making its creator a multi-millionaire by the time he was only 17. In reality, BizChair.com sold $13.6 million worth of goods in 2005. In 2006, the company made $24 million in revenue. It was $37.5 million in total income in 2007 that was generated. His sales grew to $42 million the next year. Number 4. Doherty Frazer. Fraser Doherty, better known as Jam Boy, is our next hero. He began preparing sugar-free jams based on his grandmother's recipe and began selling them to his neighbors and local businesses on a smaller basis. In addition, he aspired to expand and sell his jam across the United States, specifically Britain. Consequently, he persuaded his father to accompany him to Waitrose, where he presented his plan. They first declined, citing issues with incorrect pricing and labeling. In spite of this, he did not give up, and after a few tries, they decided to put it on their shelves throughout the country. The jam became so successful that Tesco, Sainsbury's, and Morrison's started stocking it, and his firm was making $1 million a year, making him a billionaire by the time he was a teenager. Number 5. Ashley Quarles. When she was barely 14 years old, she established whatever.com as a pastime. MySpace layouts and HTML lessons were made available for free on the site, which relied only on advertising income. She set up shop in the basement of her house, enlisting the help of her mother and school friends. In the first several months, she earned $70,000 in profit. As a teenager, she had already made over $1 million, making her a rich teenager. There have been several offers to buy her firm, including one for $1.5 million and her pick of any automobile, but Quarles has rejected all of them. What a strange choice, considering that the automobile would cost more than the sum they're providing for her website if she went for Aston Martin Valkyrie. Don't you think you should simply include it to the transaction you're making? It seems to have been a fruitless effort to win over a youthful audience. Because the number of visitors went on rising, she was glad she didn't accept the agreement. In 2007, her website had over 7 million monthly unique users and made millions of dollars. Number 6. David Cook and Catherine Cook. Catherine and David subsequently enrolled at a new New Jersey school. The yearbook said it was a bad approach to meet new people. Dave showed his sister a picture of a girl he loved but couldn't meet due to the yearbook. There was no goal other than building an online yearbook and let people connect. They needed resources and experience to realize their idea, so they hired a development team. Born in India, 400 people signed up the first week, and more schools joined quickly. 1 million users in about a year. Kipasa proposed to acquire MeetMe for $100 million with $18 million in cash and $82 million in stock. The teens' wealth soared. Too many adolescents earned millions to be portrayed in this film. As long as you get it, age doesn't matter. If you have an inspiring concept or a realistic business opportunity, pursue it. You have less to lose now than as an adult with greater duties. That is something I can personally attest to. The message is that it doesn't really matter how old or young you are. It's all about you and how much effort you put into it. There are several reasons for this, but one of the most important is to ensure that your company concept is viable before putting in the time and money required to establish a firm. If it turns out to be a mistake, you don't have to spend as much time or money on your next business since you can just go on. Because everyone's time is limited and it's unlikely that you'll have the luxury of reading the book from beginning to end, you'll want someone to summarize it for you and impart the most valuable lessons. Then Blinkist comes to play. There are hundreds of non-fiction books out there, but this 15-minute read or listen is a fraction of the price of those volumes. There are also many distractions in today's world that it's almost impossible to sit down and concentrate on anything for any length of time. Social media alone wastes many hours of our time. I really hope you liked it. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel as well so that the next video will show up on your homepage when it's available. Until we meet again, thanks for watching.